James A. Martin III, also known as Jim. My rank was lieutenant. First of all, being an officer, you lived in officer's country. So you had, in effect, a stateroom. And the one that was first assigned to me had 3 bunks in it. But they were not bunks like the men had to suffer with. They were cushier than we had. Instead of containers to put our gear in, we had drawers in dressers and things like that. Food was served in, oh, one other thing about the sleeping area, all the cleanup was done by steward's mates. We didn't make our own racks or any of that, but yeah, it was a pretty good arrangement. Now the dining arrangements were in what's called a mess hall in officers' quarters. And well, I'm not stating that right, it's actually called the wardroom. And the officers all sat around a table about the size of the table we have here in the room today. We had 17 officers on board. The captain sat down at the head, the exec on one side, chief engineer on the other side of him, and then went down by ranks. And tell you a funny thing about that, we had one guy on there who was a very accomplished person, but he liked to do things like just shave the side of his face away from the captain, or toward the captain. So he'd sit way down the end, and he'd only be shaved on the one side that the captain could see, which made the mess hall, the arrangements amusing to everybody except the captain. He didn't know about it. And then duty assignments. First of all, as an officer, you stand watches on the quarterdeck in port. You stand watches on the bridge when you're underway. My basic responsibility was the engineering spaces, which are the engines and the fire rooms and the boiler rooms and things like that. But which requires a lot of distance. You know, the ship was 351 feet long, I think. You start at the stern and you see what your fellows are doing down there. They're the damage control bunch. You move to the number 2 engine room, number 2 fire room, and the machine shop where that gang is. You know, so that you're checking that they're there and doing what they're supposed to be doing, giving them help if there's anything you can help them with. But they're very accomplished people. The Navy has a system that trains their enlisted men very well. And then when they come on board a ship, the senior petty officers continue the training to help the men move up in ratings. And it's a good system. Our men got along well with each other. You know, you have some conflicts, but very, very little. And they helped each other, which was good. I liked the men that worked for me. I think they liked me. The difference was they called me by Mr. Martin, and I called them by their last name only. But I think the relationship was good. Now, from my standpoint, I thought it was good. I heard stories of some officers that did some strange things that caused conflict, and but I fortunately didn't have that problem. I don't know what they were paying them. They were paying me about $200 a month, and I suspect that the enlisted men in the early ratings, you know, when they were seaman, apprentice, seaman, it was probably only $40 or $50 a month. I don't really. I would have known years ago, but I don't know now.